Welcome back to World Crisis Radio. So that is the story on Libya. I think the smart money would have to be Gaddafi stays and the rebels fall apart before Gaddafi does, no matter how much NATO terror bombing is carried out. But if you don't agree with that, you better get busy anyway, calling on your congressman to cut off the funding and end the war, because if those rebels ever enter Tripoli, then there will be a bloodbath and a massacre, and it will involve both sides. And this, the world simply does not need. This entire lunatic project has got to be brought to an end. Cut off the funding. Tea Party people, if you are worth anything, it's in doubt whether you are, then you must cut off that money. Vote for that Kucinich resolution. 15 or 16 votes going the other way, and the money gets cut off, at least at the level of the House. Now, Syria, Obama's crossed the Rubicon, as we're told. He now wants to overthrow the government of Syria, just as his own domestic stock falls to an all-time low. He wants the fall of Assad, so does Hillary. So U.S., U.K., France, Germany, Canada all want the fall of the Assad family. Ocampo, the vulture, the vermin from the International Criminal Court, getting into the picture. These shameful tools of imperialism who never got Bush, Cheney, Rumsfeld, Pearl, Fife, or any of those people. They're, of course, going after the Assad family. The squeeze, of course, is Turkey. On the other hand, remember that Maliki of Iraq and, of course, Ahmadinejad of Iran and Hezbollah under Nasrallah, they all continue to support Assad 1,000%, and that will not change. The word from Ignatius of the Washington Post is that there's a pro-Turkish faction of the Syrian army which wants to dump Assad with a military coup. And, of course, any fool can see that a military coup leads to a new military dictatorship with probably a narrower base than the one that Assad has. So you will then get from the point of view of our wonderful champions of human rights here in the Anglo-American world, something much, much worse. So stop this. It looks to me like the Syrian army is in the process of quelling a rebellion of armed death squads of the Muslim Brotherhood, and that is the reality. The questions now of Syria, Libya, however, pose, I think, an issue to Russia, China, Iran, and others. It would certainly be possible with limited technical assistance to radically change the course of these conflicts, and we'll be anxiously awaiting to see whether anyone will step up and take action to bridle the aggressive rampage of the U.S., U.K. imperialist madmen as these two crises now, twin crises, move towards some kind of a denouement. In the meantime, in Iraq, you may remember some months ago, Obama declared that combat operations were over. 57 U.S. dead since Obama declared the military operations in Iraq over. We've now got also the Israeli front opening up, Palestinian or other attacks on the Israelis, and then the inevitable Israeli retaliatory airstrikes. The confrontation now looms at the UN General Assembly in September. There will be a move to declare the Palestinian state, and that is also, if we can take Prince Turkey and his remarks seriously, there's also the parting of the ways between the United States and Saudi Arabia over that issue. They're looking for an issue that may give them the issue they need. India, we may have a color revolution going in India. We will be looking into this. This character, Anna Hazare, this looks like a U.S.-backed color revolution, if anything does. Just judging from the wonderful love of the Washington Post for this anti-corruption fighter, we would have to say, no, this can't be. In Wisconsin, the two Democrats have held on against the recall. The next task is to oust the fascist Governor Walker. Don't let Obama and the Democratic National Committee demoralize you. Don't quit. Go all the way. Oust that fascist governor. Don't listen to arguments that it will be an embarrassment to Obama's presidential campaign, and therefore you should let the fascist run wild. Don't let Obama's electoral chances one way or the other make one bit of difference. Similarly, in Ohio, you've got Kasich now on the ropes with his fascist union-busting program. No capitulation to that. Make him grovel. Make him eat dirt. Don't give him any concessions. Go for victory. And don't let Obama, the Democratic National Committee, and the Democratic Party betray you. If this is in the hands of unionists, don't let them be leaned on by the Democratic Party. We're told also in terms of the Rupert Murdoch situation, the Murdochs knew all about the hacking. Yeah, I guess we knew that too. Clive Goodman is now indicting the Murdochs, James and Rupert, so maybe they will be out. There's a proposal from the U.S. Postal Service to eliminate 120,000 jobs. The answer to that is no. You can't take down your postal service. The reason that the income levels are low is because you're dealing with a depressed U.S. economy. You're in a depression. If you get a recovery, you're going to need those facilities. Don't make the idiotic mistake of dumping the facilities. We're building up to the 9/11 anniversary. So obviously the way to celebrate that or to mark that is to buy 9/11 synthetic terror made in USA, 9/11 synthetic terror made in USA. Get it through tarpley.net. We are now up to 46 drills, exercises, operations, war games, many of them on the morning of 9/11, a certain number of them as preparation, and one or two of them occurring after, although in advanced stages of preparation. So this will be the one of the big issues now in the next 2 or 3 weeks. Richard Clark comes forward in a desperate attempt to maintain LIHOP, let it happen on purpose, to keep the LIHOP confusion alive with his interview to Press for Truth. And I guess if it says Press for Truth, I guess it means the Marplots, Kyle Hentz, and John Judge, people who did a lot to prevent the truth from coming out in their time. Anyway, the Clark stuff is this well-known story of the two Arab patsies who were living in California who were not reported to the FBI. I think by now anybody who knows anything knows that these two patsies were they were living in the same room with an FBI official, FBI informant who did not report them. That's because the FBI was doing its job of making sure that the patsies remained at large. We have got some false flag warnings. Given the threat to the Pentagon budget, there is now a growing body of opinion which says watch out for a false flag operation between now and the end of the year, essentially, or even between now and Thanksgiving, to influence the 12 tyrants, to influence the Super Congress, and prevent significant Pentagon budget cuts. What better way than a large and bloody and dramatic false flag event? And I think that has to be taken quite seriously. We also saw this week Con Plan 3502, plan for a military coup in the United States. That is all in place. They won't have to rewrite Operation Valkyrie or whatever it is to have their coup. This will be a reactionary coup in this case. They've got it all ready to go. And now this week we've also got the rural demagogue Rick Perry coming forward. He says that Ben Bernanke is committing treason with his money printing policies. Well, you know, if you want to talk about treason, secessionism is the bedrock of treason in this country, and we've got Perry as one of the only public figures in the United States who's openly embraced the theory of secessionism, and I'm sure nullification and interposition in the entire discredited claptrap of the Confederate States of America, which went into the dustbin of history at a place called Appomattox Courthouse. But now the scoundrel Perry is eagerly trying to revive it. Perry, he's got a book. It's called Fed Up. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, banking regulations, and the Commerce Clause are all unconstitutional. Well, the Commerce Clause is in the Constitution, but it's unconstitutional anyway. Remember that Texas was built by Jesse Jones, the Reconstruction Finance Corporation, and the Rural Electrification Administration. I'm sure the electricity in Perry's house, where he grew up in not rich circumstances, was there because of the Rural Electrification Administration.